Hi, good evening. My name's Jason Wood, and I'm the Artistic Director of Film and Culture here at home. And alongside my colleague Rachel Haywood, we're really proud that we're going to be delivering the film programme at the newly opened and refurbished Riverside Studios in Hammersmith. I'm very sorry that I can't be there with you this evening. We have a sold out supporters event here tonight with one of our patrons, Asif Kapadia. So William asked me just to say a few words to introduce the film programme to you. He's given me 3 minutes, and William knows me well enough to know that 3 minutes is not very long for somebody that likes to talk a lot, but it's also not very long given the very exciting film programme that we're going to be delivering to open the Riverside Studios. I have a personal connection with the Riverside. I used to come here in my youth, which was a long time ago now, and it was where I discovered world cinema. I used to come here when it was programmed by Ed Lewis, who was one of my kind of mentors when I became a programmer. And here I discovered films from all across the world. And what we aim to do is to continue to take you on a similar journey of cinematic discovery. I also came here under the programming of Shira MacLeod, and she was another great programmer, and she was somebody else whose work I've always admired. So we aim to continue that. We also aim to continue the notion of a Riverside Studios being a venue for the whole community. We want it to be a showcase for the best independent cinema, which speaks to various different people from various different backgrounds. We want the programme to be broad, diverse, but also accessible, provocative sometimes, but also entertaining. We are going to open the cinema with a very special preview screening of Portrait of a Lady on Fire by the French auteur Céline Sciamma. The film had its debut at Cannes in 2019, and it won Sciamma the Best Screenplay prize. It's a really terrific work. It has comparisons with Jane Campion's The Piano, but it also deals with love from a kind of queer perspective. It also deals with the idea of compatibility and loneliness, and it also has a very strong feminist sensibility. I can think of no better film to open the Riverside Studios. The film will then open on February the 28th when it goes on general release from Curzon, who we thank for this preview. We are going to have a very healthy rep and curated element to the film programme here at home, which will be led by Rachel Haywood. And in the opening programming season, we will have a new 4K restoration of Federico Fellini's La Dolce Vita, presented in collaboration with the British Film Institute. And we will also be presenting a selection of well-known works by Fellini. The Riverside had a great tradition of showcasing Italian cinema, so this will follow in those footsteps. We then also have in the opening programme a selection of films by Ingmar Bergman. One of the first theatre productions here is the production of a Bergman play, and we will be showing Persona and also some other key works from the Bergman filmography. What we do aim to do at Riverside is to make it into a much more first-run venue, which will showcase the best in independent films from independent and mainstream distributors from across the globe. The first film which we open with on general release is the new film from Terrence Malick, the American auteur, who rather lost his way, I think it's fair to say, but A Hidden Life is a return to the kind of masterpiece type cinema with which Malick made his name with Badlands and Days of Heaven. A Hidden Life is based on a true story about a conscientious objector who follows his commitment to its most logical and tragic proportions. The really great thing about A Hidden Life is it doesn't feature Sean Penn. Some of the other great first run films that we have coming up here, we have the new film from Armando Iannucci, the kind of brilliant satirist who exploded onto the cinema landscape with The Death of Stalin. Iannucci's new film I saw in Toronto, and I think it's a real advancement on The Death of Stalin. It's incredibly funny, but it's also incredibly cinematic. It's also incredibly impressive in its use of colourblind casting, and it features at its core a brilliant central performance from Dev Patel. It is, of course, an adaptation of the Dickens novel, but it's done with tremendous flair and tremendous humanity, and that film will open on January the 24th. Looking slightly further ahead, we will also be presenting Parasite, the new film from Boon Joon Ho, who made one of the most celebrated films at Cannes this year. It won the Palme d'Or, and Parasite is a kind of very social realist tale about a working class family that slowly take over the household of a very affluent Korean family. It has echoes of Joseph Losey's The Servant. It also reminded me a little bit of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I think it's a masterpiece of modern cinema, and that film will open on February the 7th. Another forthcoming highlight is the new film from Robert Eggers, which is The Lighthouse. Robert Eggers made his name on the cinematic landscape with The Witch, and I think it's fair to say that this takes the idea of psychological torture to whole new levels. The film stars William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. It's shot in beautiful monochrome black and white, and it's the tale of two salty sea dogs who are put in a very combustible environment and go to psychological warfare with each other. It's quite unlike anything else I think you'll see this year. Another highlight, which I'm really, really proud to present, is the new film from the Brazilian filmmakers behind Aquarius, and it's called Corral. It's a film about community and what happens when community is threatened. It features a very chilling performance from the great kind of European actor Udo Kier, who's made something like 3,450 films. I've obviously made that figure up, but he's made a lot of films. And Bucarel is released by Mubi, and it's a film which really does go into what happens when right wing philosophies and ethics take over. It's a quite magnificent work, and again, it showcases what we're going to be doing here in terms of really bringing a broad palette of cinema. The final film I'm going to mention is The Truth, which is the newest film from the Japanese master Corral. Again, this is another film which previewed in Cannes. It's his first foray into working outside of his native Japan. It's shot in France, and it stars the two great contemporary French actors, Catherine Deneuve and Juliette Binoche. And that film will be coming to your screens in March. So hopefully we've given you a snapshot of some of the highlights to look forward to, and there's a lot more. We hope we're going to be bringing you some great filmmakers to come and talk to audiences about their work. There'll be some very special live event cinema offers. It really will be the best and the biggest in cinema, and it's going to be right on your doorstep. So there's much to look forward to. So come and be a supporter of what was once a great venue and is now, I think, going to go on to become an even greater venue and a really much needed addition to the independent cinema landscape in London. So enjoy the rest of your evening, don't drink too much, and we'll see you here on January the 16th. Thank you.